from NBC News. This is Today with Kathy Lee Gifford and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Oh, yes, and if you're one of the loving couples who are engaged this weekend, or if you've been married for years but still wondering if you and your spouse really do belong together, have we got something for you?
We asked you to go to our website and take Elizabeth Carroll's Compatibility Quiz. Elizabeth's the host of WeTV's Marriage Boot Camp.
Oh, really?
Yes, and she is here with licensed marriage and family therapist, and we think he's a hunk. Hal Runkle, who's author of Scream-Free Marriage.
Hello.
Hi, you guys.
How are you?
Hi,
How are you?
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot of people, especially around Valentine's Day, you look at different couples having meals or going out together, and you think, wow, they've got a perfect relationship. But it always looks that way peeking in, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. When you look in on a special occasion or something like that, you don't really get to see them take down the walls and peek behind what's going on there, and that's kind of what we do.
Well, that's why most therapists are kind of voyeurs. We're going to get to see behind the closed doors what's going on, you know.
Does it take a long time to find out which marriages are going to work and which are just not going to because of the parties involved?
Right. Actually, research has found that you can tell, well, actually, one of the greats of research has found that he can tell in 15 minutes whether this couple's going to...
John Gottman.
John Gottman.
Yeah.
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Based on what?
A couple of different things. One is how they start their conversations. Do they start their conversations like,
Right in.
because the way you start it is the way it's going to end.
Right.
Whereas if there's a soft startup, like, honey, I want to talk to you about something that's on my heart, that's one indication.
And ultimately, he's looking for the level of resentment. So when you start a conversation like that, right, this offensively, then usually you've got some pent-up resentment. You're waiting to pounce on the other person.
And in the compatibility quiz that you're talking about, that's one of the questions you ask. Is there resentment between the two?
It's the biggest killer of marriage.
It is.
Right.
And how is that exposed? Like, how do you...
Resentment is a fascinating word because it's like literal. It means I'm carrying around a sense of injustice, but instead of dealing with that in a constructive way, I just resend it back through my brain, and I resend it again, and it builds up to where my ability to hold it back erodes, and then it just explodes.
So it's like putting a Band-Aid on something cancerous in you.
Exactly, and it will metastasize. It will grow. It will continue, and if that doesn't get cut out, exposed to sunlight,
which means address conflicts, even though you're uncomfortable, address differences you have, but address them quickly, relatively. Don't let them fester.
But there's some people that are just unwilling to do that. They just are. And they'll go through the whole counseling process and the whole time they think, I'm only doing this so I can get out and say, see, I tried everything. Just to sort of confirm
their worldview.
The worldview.
That I'm a victim. This, he did me wrong, she did me wrong. They confirm that. And it's like we always say, okay, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Right. And you say that when you go to marriage counseling, 80% of the couples don't remain together?
The statistics are very, very negative when it comes to marriage counseling because you have two people pitted against one another, trying to engage the counselor, trying to get their side said, okay? So 80% of those statistically end in failure, whereas the marriage boot camp, we have an 80% success rate.
Marriage boot camp, which is just...
Well, they're really willing to do the work. That's the difference,
well, here's the other difference. We don't necessarily put you with your spouse during the boot camp. We'll pair you up with Hal and say, okay, you guys do your thing, and let's just observe how it is. And he's going to be different because he doesn't...
do my thing with Hal? I don't think Frank would like that. I mean, no wonder it's successful.
Let's get to a couple other quick questions. Is your sex life working is another important one.
You know, I tell guys, one of the big lies of guys is that they need sex and they need to communicate that need, and you, never mind whether or not you want it, I need it. That is not sexy at all. You don't need sex, but your marriage does. Your marriage needs a unique, physical, spiritual connection with each other that you don't have with anybody else. And if that's not happening regularly, right?
What if one person thinks it's fine and the other doesn't?
Person, you know, things happen in people's lives. Our service people come back and they're not able to perform.
I work with 7,000 Army families a year, and I see that all the time. There's still ways to uniquely connect, even if it's not even if it's not full copulation. It can still be.
I just think we need to always say that because you know, it's just sex is not everything in a relationship.
No, in fact, what we say in the marriage boot camp is that sex is the physical manifestation of the invisible connection, and if you don't have some form of physical manifestation, the bond is compromised. There's something going on
If
there.
there's not that happening, then usually it's because of that resentment that the other person's holding.
Got to deal with that resentment, Hoda. I told you.
You're good together, you two.
And we make a cute couple, don't we?
You do.
Hector's just trying to share hell with everybody today.